started recording this bullshit show. Fucking. All right, hello there, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of Cinematic Analysis. And today we are reviewing Captain America: Civil War, which was requested by a special someone we will introduce. But first and foremost, I'm actually not here alone. Hi, I'm Julian Purnell, Heavy Metal Joker. But I like to introduce my special guest. You know who he is. He literally just lives like 10 minutes away from me, something like that. Yeah. And he's here in person, ladies and gentlemen. Dun, 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 dun,
I know who I am already. Next person.
Yay, Jaden, I did the Mortal Kombat theme. All right. Mortal Kombat. Next up.
Finish him.
No. Next up, he is our editor, uploader, Instagram dude. I don't fucking know. He's our resident AEW mark, Mr. Jason Bailey.
AEW mark and a Minecraft mark. So yeah. Hi, I'm here. Yeah, I guess he goes to the next person. You guys know who I am.
Fucking Christ.
Next up, he is repping that badass Captain America shirt. He is the #1 wrestling fan in this group. I will go on record saying that. And I say that because he's met the most wrestlers out of all of us. Lucky motherfucker. You know him from his lovely toy show, Josh's Toy Show. And you may have seen him at the Wrestling Universe store doing shit. And
yes.
And knowing how he looks, you may have seen him on your local street corner begging for money. Ladies and gentlemen.
And he had to deal with me twice in person.
Ladies and gentlemen, the dude that looks just like Frodo, Josh Danker.
Since when do I go on the fucking street and beg for money? I don't just have clothes.
I don't know. You tell us.
It's not our fault you look like a homeless pimp. Anyway, next up.
Really? Okay.
I ain't got nowhere to go, but I love these bitches.
Anyway.
We love you too.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Cinematic Analysis. It's your resident assassin here. We're going to review Captain America: Civil War. Let's get started. I don't know where the fuck I became a homeless fucking bum, but I have a roof under my fucking...
I don't know. Whatever corner you picked first.
I didn't pick no corner. Listen, I'm repping America.
By the way, we got Lucas and the returning Nicholas possibly joining us later. So stay tuned. Keep watching, guys.
Did y'all hear him?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I love how I was like, I don't know, whatever fucking corner you picked first. Just God Almighty.
God Almighty, I'm repping America.
Okay.
You see?
Next.
All right, next. Ladies and gentlemen, this is her birthday pick. And she is one of my best friends, aside from this guy. Yep. They have the biggest Funko collection out of all of us. Actually, probably not, because I got a shit ton of them.
How many do you have?
I bought a few of them.
Like 50 something.
I have almost 60. I have one more, and then I have 60.
9.
I bought a few.
So
yeah.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, they are a big Funko fan, big Marvel fan, obviously, big Star Wars fan, big video game fan, and just recently became a wrestling fan. She's been a wrestling fan, but she's just now getting back into it, I should say. Yeah, and they are not wearing their beanie today.
Oh no, I'm not. I can't find it.
Oh no, but that's fine, ladies and gentlemen. The person that chose Captain America: Civil War, the 90% overall on Rotten Tomatoes, 75% on Metacritic, and my bestie, my friend, Madi.
Oh, Jesus. Hello. I am so excited. I'm so excited to be reviewing this episode. Reviewing this movie.
All right, AJ.
I didn't take a fucking nap today,
Hi, AJ.
but I can do. I'm not gonna fall asleep. I can do this.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
reviewing Kevin.
Yes, Kevin.
Don't fall asleep, guys.
All right.
I won't fall asleep. But yeah, we're reviewing Captain America: Civil War. It is probably one of my favorite Captain America films. My favorite Marvel film of all time as well. And I will be as critical as possible, even though it is my favorite fucking movie. That is what this podcast is for.
Yes, indeed. All right, so I guess y'all know how this starts off. We gotta start off with the plot. So, Jaden, you ready?
Yeah.
Maddie, you ready?
Yeah.
Jason,
I
you
can't
ready?
see, but
He's John Cena.
Hi.
Jason, you ready? All right, Bum, are you ready? All right, well, we gotta get through this quick because Josh is needed at the homeless shelter.
Wow.
oh my god!
What did Josh do to you?
Hey, I said one of these times I'm gonna roast some people on an episode, and today Josh is the special person.
At least it's not
Wow, I
fucking
feel
me.
fucking honored.
Yeah, oh no, Maddie, you'll be soon. So
Call me Dobby Vanity. I will literally fucking cry
I want to
and
be
leave.
next.
Fucking Comedy Central.
no, it's not. I'm not gonna call you that guy. I don't know why you would say that, Maddie.
Because
Even
you
though-
called me that before.
Oh. So, Captain America: Civil War, the plot. So this is the plot of the entire thing. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing started. Actually, I don't even know if Josh saw the movie because he couldn't afford money to buy tickets to the movie theater. So,
Why am
Oh
I
my
wearing-
god!
Excuse
don't-
me?
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Excuse me? Whoa now.
Here we
I
go.
have seen the fucking movie, goddammit.
Okay, yeah. Jesus
That's
Christ.
out of you.
Yeah, he spent all his money on WWE stuff. He can't even afford food.
Okay, next.
That's why he's a scrawny little fuck. All right, here we go. The Captain America: Civil War. Here is the plot. Political pressure mounts to install a system of accountability when the actions of the Avengers lead to collateral damage. The new status quo deeply divides members of the team. Captain America believes superheroes should remain free to defend humanity without government interference. Iron Man sharply disagrees and supports oversight. As the debate escalates into all-out warfare, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and a bunch of others must pick a side. And there we go.
Yeah.
All right, so Maddie, you know what to do.
Here we fucking go. Get
Yeah.
your seatbelts on. We're in for a fucking ride, y'all.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we start off. It is 1991, and we are in Siberia. We then, travel through this thing, like an underground area or whatever, and we see a red book being revealed, and it has a star on it.
Star Wars. Go on ahead.
That's enough out of you. So anyways, and then we see Bucky, or the Winter Soldier in this case, being frozen, and he is about to come out of that because they are ready to use him for a mission. And then we see him screaming because he's being tortured, and then we cut to hearing some Russian, and those are actually the trigger words to activate the Winter Soldier. So they activate him, they ask him if he's ready to submit, and then they send him out for the mission. We then see Bucky, hiding out on a motorcycle, waiting for the mission, whatever, and then he chases a car, and the car crashes. Then he goes to the back of the car, unlocks the trunk, and finds the super soldier serum. After that, it cuts, and we are now in present day, which present day is not now, it's 2016. And they are in Lagos. It is Captain America, Sam, Wanda, and Natasha. And they are on a mission to stop Crossbones, which Crossbones is actually Brock Rumlow from Captain America the Winter Soldier.
Hey.
And if anybody saw that movie, you remember a building literally landed on his face. So he's very fucked up. And basically wants revenge on all of the Avengers, especially Captain America. So Sam scans a truck that they see, and he discovers it's going to be used as a battering ram, and that it's not going towards the police station. It is going towards the infectious disease building. And and then we see they get in there, they crash, and then they get in the building, and then everyone shows up. Sam takes down a couple people. Wanda helps as well. And since they made it in the building, they get the vial. And as they're leaving, they're fighting each other, blah, blah, blah. Steve gets in the building. Again, he's fighting everyone. And Nat shows up and kicks everyone's ass. Crossbones throws her in the tank. She gets out. This, that, the other. So they end up leaving. The bad guys leave. Rumlow locks up the vial, and he tells everyone to split up. So they can't figure out which one the vial is, or which person has the vial. Then we see that it's Crossbones versus Captain America. Then it cuts to Nat and Sam trying to find the person that has the vial. And they have a little banter back and forth, and I love it. Because she thanks Sam, and he goes, "Don't thank me." And she goes, "I'm not thinking that thing." And he goes, "Go on, pet it. He's cute." That little guy, his name is Red Wing, and it was built by Tony. Fun fact. That's actually in the comics, so they never really said it in the movies, but it's in the comics. So they find the vial, of course. Again, the banter between the two is great. There's a lot of that within Marvel films, and this movie specifically. Then we cut back to Captain America fighting Brock Rumlow, and his mask comes off, and we see just how damaged he was from the building landing on his face and the fire, everything. And then he starts to tell Cap that Bucky remembered him when he got brainwashed again in the Winter Soldier. And he basically ends up freezing. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to say. And Wanda tries to help, but ends up accidentally hurting people because Brock Rumlow tried to blow himself up and kill Captain America in the process of it. And Wanda came over, and she basically used her little powers, and she lifted him up and accidentally put him in the building, which killed and hurt many people. And then we cut to a woman playing the piano, and we see a man come in, and immediately you know who it is, and we finally get to see the dynamic of Tony with his parents. And you can already tell that he's just close to his mother. Definitely not his father. He's definitely closer to his mother. And he basically built this therapeutic experiment, he calls it, to try to help with the trauma of his parents dying. And he was very young. CGI Robert Downey Jr. was fucking spot on. It was incredible.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marvel has sometimes gotten their CGI wrong when it comes to making people older, but this one spot on for making him look exactly like he did so long ago. He then is Jaden.
You know what that Robert Downey Jr. CGI reminded me of?
What?
A bit off topic though, if you guys were watching the Super Bowl commercials, a commercial with LeBron and his younger self from like 2003, yeah, that was awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, they did make LeBron look young in that commercial. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great. Yeah.
talking to his younger self.
So Tony is presenting this project that he made to a bunch of college kids, and he then goes on with his speech and basically funds everyone's projects. Anyone that's doing a project, he funds it with the grant that he created. And he sees on the teleprompter Pepper's name. And they are on a break because Tony can't stop fighting and being a part of the Avengers. Because he just goes everywhere, does whatever he wants. He doesn't even want to stop. That's the thing too. So then he tries to go to the bathroom but ends up trying to leave instead. And he sees a woman at the elevator and she reaches into her purse and he like grabs her wrist because he thinks she's gonna kill him or something. But she pulls out a photo and starts talking about her son, Charlie. And basically, he died in Sokovia when everything was going on in Age of Ultron. And obviously, that's going to make him feel guilty.
Yeah.
But I lost my spot. Yeah, so then we cut back to the Avengers facility, and we see that Steve is watching the news about what happened in Lagos, and he turns it off, and then you hear that Wanda is watching the news as well, but it's about her, and not everyone else, just her. And she's like, she feels already terrible about it, but now she feels worse. Steve comes in, turns it off, and then they have a talk. And Vision just walks in through the wall. And she just goes, Viz, we talked about this. And he goes, well, the door was open, so I figured. And I think he realized how dumb that sounded, so he stopped. And he basically was like, okay, well, Tony's here, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But he also shows up with Secretary Ross, which, by the way, rest in peace to William Hurt.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was like, when I heard about it, I was so upset because not only was he in this, he was in so many other Marvel movies. He was supposed to be in upcoming Marvel projects. It's so fucking sad what happened. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there I didn't want to like just continue on without mentioning it. So it shows up with Secretary Ross, and they go through all the stuff that's happened. So New York City, Washington, D.C., Sokovia, Lagos, everything. And he basically is like, do you guys even know where Thor and the Hulk are? Like, you guys are not a team. You guys are causing collateral damage. Like, it's not good. And then the Sokovia Accords are presented. And basically, it's the Avengers need to sign or you're no longer an Avenger.
That's so cool.
But yeah, that's basically the first half, which I do need to say this was broken up into 5 parts because with how long Marvel movies are and how detailed their work is and how they add a bunch of characters within a lot of the movies, it's broken down into a little bit more parts depending on what movies we watch. So this one was 5. So the floor is open. Raise hands. Please don't even tell me that I just said that and no one's gonna say anything.
It's just
Hmm.
a lot happened.
A
Yeah.
lot.
Lot happened. It's
Within the first half of the film. Jason, go ahead.
A lot of chaos happened in that part.
yeah,
That's a chaotic introduction to this movie.
Yep.
and just the part leading.
It's
to
hard to describe it,
Yeah.
but it's so much chaos. And you know what? I love that.
Yeah. Josh.
Yeah, it's just too much to talk about at once. It's like a lot of, it's like a mix of stuff going on, a lot of stuff. But this is like, the first part where we get introduced to the characters and see what it's going to be about. So it's kind of, but yeah, like Jason said, it's a lot to just grasp. It's chaos.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. It's like you really have to like process a lot in like the first part of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, now that they're doing this thing like selling their soul to like a government, like if you don't do that, you're not an Avenger anymore. And
You can't help people. You can't do anything. And if you go against it, you're a criminal. And you get arrested.
And I have a lot to say about that, but we're not.
This movie is pretty political, but I really don't want to get into like political talk, if that's okay.
That's worse.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's accurate.
It's very. This was 2016 when this movie came out.
I was watching that, never paid attention to the political stuff anyway, but I just want to watch superheroes fight, damn it.
Yeah.
But it did pose a good message that.
It did.
I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, it's just because we could be here for literally hours just getting into the political stuff. So we'll just keep it at what the movie is and not real time stuff.
That'll be a topic for a different day.
Yeah. But if nobody else has anything to add, I can move on to the second portion. Okay. So.
Hey, Maddie.
Oh, Jaden.
My question is, why was this political stuff added in the first place?
They're just trying to make a statement.
I think that, but also
Just,
with how Marvel films are, Civil War is a huge thing in the comics. Huge. So they had already been planning to do this for a very, very, very long time.
And there was always like super political stuff. It was like everything that's happening in this movie does happen in the comics, and those comics were made a long fucking time ago. So this story, even though it's accurate to how it was in 2016 and how accurate to how it is even now, like, and the fact that this is written in the fucking like 80s or 90s, this shit's still going on. It's like, like if you don't agree, like if you want to protect people, you have to sell your soul and do this. Yeah.
I think that there's even a comic where Steve Rogers fights Hitler. Like, this shit has been going on since the 30s. Very, very long time. I'm not getting into it, but I'm just saying that.
This video is going to get taken down. Hey,
it's not going to get taken down.
Hey, Susan.
Hi, Susan.
But like the comics are like pretty political. Like, if you saw Captain America, or not Captain America, if you saw Falcon and the Winter Soldier, very relevant to a lot of the shit that's going on today, especially with Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And they did it well. That's all I'm gonna say. And the topic for another time.
And pretty much most of the stuff in any Marvel movie, they base it off the comics.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they try to like make some stuff like relevant to how horrible things were. And this was made in 2016.
Oh my God, I was in high school.
Well, it wasn't. I should say it was released in 2016. It was made in
2015.
Yeah, it was made in 2014. 2015 was the filming process of the entire.
2015 was the filming process.
And like just even going through all that, like the political campaigns going on at that time, and the horrible shit that was going on.
Crazy.
Yeah, and 2016, the fact that it was released that year, after how horrible that year was. And and also how horrible the end of that year was, which I do not want to get into, because that was the start of a terrible 4 years afterwards.
When I think of 2016, I think of people dressed up as clowns while playing Pokemon Go. People were still outside. I
forgot the killer again. 2016.
I think the clowns came back though.
I wanted to see a clown so badly. Don't ask why.
I wanted to see a clown too. It's like,
the clowns came back at one point, but then they went away again.
That was like 2 years after.
Yeah.
And we are getting very off topic.
We're like this. Okay. All right. we now move on to the second portion of the film, and we are in Cleveland, Ohio.
Hey.
Hey, Cleveland.
Christ.
Heck no.
We hear a crash. There's a man who's eating food at his table, and we hear a crash outside, and then we hear a man talking to the person that was eating inside to try to, solve the crash without having to, call the police, whatever. And the man that crashed the car ends up knocking the dude out. Like, he knocks on the door, he lets him in, literally punches him right in the face and knocks him out, dead cold. And then we see the man knocking out the wall and looking for something. And he finds the red book with the star from the beginning. He's trying to get information from this man about December 16th, 1991. And his name is Zemo. I might as well tell you now. It's just easier to tell you his name. His name is Zemo, and he ends up torturing the Hydra soldier that worked on Bucky. It is the same exact guy, and just many, many years later. Zemo doesn't get the answers he wants, so he drowns him to death. Like, he's straight up dead. Just drowns him. And then we cut back to the Avengers compound, and they're all arguing about what, of course, the Accords. Tony only agrees on the Accords because this happened literally right after the thing with the kid, with Charlie. And that is basically the only fucking reason he did it. And he did it because of one person, which feels like the wrong reason to do it. He shouldn't be thinking about one person.
Should be thinking about everybody.
Which is, and this is, I'm like on so many sides in this movie, but when it comes to this part with the Accords, I'm like on Steve's side.
100%.
Like, yes, people are going to get hurt, but the more people you save, the better outcome it's going to, it's just frustrating that this was mainly the one reason why Tony had agreed to it. But he does talk about Charlie to everyone, and obviously they feel bad. You can't obviously save everyone. That's the thing, and I believe that's said in many, many Marvel movies and even any superhero movie, that you can't always save everyone.
Right. That's just
So again, I mean, the main premise of this movie, and even in the comics, I don't think they're both the same in the comics and in the movie. But again, Tony and Steve are on totally different sides. Like, they just do not see eye to eye. Nat actually ends up agreeing with Tony, and I will definitely be explaining why later. I think it's still in this part, but I will be explaining why she ends up agreeing with him. And Steve ends up getting a text which basically says that Peggy died. And, they all go to London. Not all of them, but some of them go to London for her funeral. And then we hear Sharon Carter goes up on the stage to, give a speech. And we find out that Sharon is Agent 13 from Captain America the Winter Soldier. They royally fucked up her character, even in fucking Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, they just did. And this movie did not fucking help at all. It really didn't.
Ruined it completely.
What?
Ruined it completely.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
So she gives her speech and everything, and Nat actually shows up to support Steve, and we find out that Clint is retired. Don't know where Bruce is. Don't know where Thor is. Obviously, we find out later on within the franchise where they are, what they're doing. I won't be saying that because that isn't this movie, and we might actually be reviewing that, but we don't know yet. So, the reason that Nat agreed with Tony was because the Avengers is her family. And she wants to do everything she can to protect her family and to make sure they stay together. And if you didn't watch Black Widow, then you will not really understand why.
I watched it and I understand why.
I
That
don't.
movie was really good, by the way. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus.
But yeah, that's why she did that. And basically, if they all signed the accords, they would be safer. They would have guidelines on how to go about certain situations on saving people. Which I get it, but in the same sense, it's like, if it's not that big of an issue and it can be taken care of in another way,
Don't worry
then
about
why put the Avengers out there when someone else in deeper shit can be saved by the Avengers? That's why I agree with Steve on that. And then we cut to Vienna, and we finally meet T'Challa. Rest in peace to fucking Chadwick Boseman, by the way.
Oh my god.
I cry every fucking time I see this movie, even more now because of him. Just how powerful of a fucking performance he puts on. Yeah, Jaden.
It was very. I can speak for everyone. It was very emotional seeing him on screen.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I still remember where I was at when I found out he passed away. I thought it was fake.
Same, man.
I found out through fucking Sebastian Stan.
I was out of. What was I? I think I was out of town for a funeral. I'm not gonna get to that. I seen it on on the news. Like, dang, he died. That's got to be fake.
Yeah, dude, you calling me immediately like, dude, this happened. Like, Chadwick is dead.
Pretty
Like,
much anything.
I was like, no fucking way.
Pretty much anything that happens to a celebrity or
I was
something
out with my buddy.
stupid, I call you. I
Yeah,
don't know why.
You call me or text me, or you send me the thing that happened. It's just like,
Dude,
Yeah.
I found out through fucking Sebastian Stan on Instagram. I was like, what the fuck? And then everybody was like texting me for weeks. I was devastated. Fucking
I found out
devastated.
what the fuck? I found out through his fan, like his actual page posted it, like one of his fan. I was
Yes,
like,
fan
wait,
did.
what? I was like, stop playing, and then I look it up on the internet, and it's all over like news and everything. I'm like, wow. I
Yeah.
showed it to my friend. I was like, holy.
August 28th, 2020, passed away in his home in LA.
That year sucks.
I know, dude.
And what sucks that we didn't even know, like, he was struggling with that illness he had.
I
Oh,
mean,
but do you remember?
the video of him, he looked at very, very skinny.
And everyone got on his fucking ass, and I knew. I was like, this man is sick. Something is not right. Something's not right here. And everyone was like, he's on drugs. He's this. He's that. And no one took a second to fucking think that he was sick.
Right.
He was struggling for 4 years. 4 fucking years. And he did all these fucking movies, and nobody fucking knew but his family.
He was a private man. I respect him for being private.
He was an incredible fucking human, a talent that was gone way too fucking soon.
Right.
And it still fucking devastates me.
Yeah. We'll never have anyone as good as him.
No,
Like-
and when it came to time for the new Black Panther, people were like, all right, well, who's going to play Chadwick Boseman? And Marvel was like, we're not replacing him. No one can beat
No one can play
T'Challa.
that role but Chadwick Boseman.
So now
Yeah.
they're going based off the comics, which is the best fucking idea that they could have done for this part of the franchise. Honestly.
Are they still
So
gonna
what
make
exact-
any movies or no?
I think they are going to continue to make movies, but not.
I'm talking about any Black Panther movies. Are they gonna?
Yeah.
Or probably not.
This next movie is probably going to be the last one that features any of the footage that was with Chadwick. But
So
Oh,
they
the
always-
last
I think.
the last thing that has Chadwick Boseman in it is What If. That's his very last Marvel performance.
so he's not going to be in the next Black Panther.
Nope.
Okay, so yeah, no, so there's not going to be Chadwick or anything like that, but it's still going to be based off of Black Panther.
Yeah, it's still Black Panther. Shuri is gonna become Black Panther like in the comics.
Yeah, Sherry's as I'm glad that Marvel's finally doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I know they had other ideas, but yeah, I'm happy they're finally giving her.
Yeah, I agree.
You have Disney Plus, you can watch it.
Jaden, I definitely recommend you watch What If. They have like an entire fucking episode dedicated to Chadwick Boseman.
I'm talking. Okay, here I have a confession. I've never seen Black Panther.
What?
Okay, after this, I'm telling you, you need to watch Black Panther because this movie is very fucking prevalent. It is very relevant to that fucking movie.
Yeah.
And I need to watch that What If as well.
Yeah.
And you need to watch the post-credit scene of this movie.
This, you gotta turn on Disney Plus and watch that fucking movie. It is a masterpiece.
You need to watch the post-credit scene to this movie and Black Panther.
Oh my God, we will get to that at the end.
Oh yes, we will. All right, let's continue on because there is a lot to unpack in this fucking movie.
Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, man.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Can we do one all together? Wakanda forever for Matt.
Life.
Wakanda for life, absolutely.
Yep. All right. So we also meet King T'Chaka, who is presumably the Black Panther within the movie because obviously he's the king. They go through the speeches and everything, and King T'Chaka is talking, and T'Challa kind of sees something out the window, and it's a bomb. A bomb goes off, and King T'Chaka dies. And that scene makes me cry every fucking time I watch it.
Yeah.
Even when I first saw the movie, it made me just absolutely fucking bawl my eyes out. It just Chadwick Boseman fucking powerful in this fucking movie. So after that, we then cut to Sharon and Steve are at her hotel and they're talking whatever. And then Sam shows up and basically is like, you need to know this information. They go upstairs and find out about the bombing. And on the news, it shows a blurred picture of someone that looks like Bucky Barnes. And T'Challa finds out this information. We cut back to T'Challa. He finds out this information and he wants revenge. He wants Bucky dead. He wants to get him. He doesn't want him alive. So Nat sits down across from him and they start talking, and T'Challa starts talking about his culture and basically saying that once you're dead, you're not actually dead and that your legacy will continue on and this, that, and the other. Steve ends up calling Nat, and she basically figures out through the background of the phone call that he's there in Vienna. And then we cut to this little cafe, and Sam is sitting down, and Steve starts talking to him, and then Sharon shows up. And she says, everyone thinks the Winter Soldier goes to their gym. And I'm mentioning this because if anybody saw Endgame, you'll remember they mentioned Hot Tub Time Machine.
I want.
Sebastian Stan is in Hot Tub Time Machine. So Sebastian Stan is canon in the MCU, but wait, there's more. The line is funny because Sebastian Stan always goes to the gym. So everyone has been bringing this line back up forever since Endgame came out, and it's so funny to me.
It's hilarious. Like, oh my God, I remember.
Yeah. Wait a minute, actually. Wait.
No way. No, you don't have the movie, do you? Oh my God.
Oh my God, Maddie!
This was the first time I saw Sebastian Stan. This made me fall in love with him. I love Sebastian Stan. I am not ashamed.
And you shouldn't be, Maddie.
Imagine we were on.
I'm not. Okay.
That is funny concept for a movie, and you're in the hot tub, you time travel. Where did they travel to that movie anyway?
Who fucking knows?
All right. There are a lot of references within the past movies to the future movies that are fucking hilarious, which I will be mentioning a few.
Ooh, something about a
Um,
future movie. Well,
What?
I'll like to mention that, but not right now.
Okay. So then we see Zemo in his hotel room with the book, and he's trying to read off the words because it's in Russian, so he can say it properly. And he gets a knock at the door, and it's room service, brings him food, and he's like, no, I got it. Doesn't want him in the room. And then the camera pans over to the closet, and we see this like huge fucking bomb thing just chilling in the closet. So we know that Zemo is in Berlin because he's speaking German. Obviously because Berlin, Germany.
Yeah.
But again, he's there. Something's not right. Now, I'm about to spew a bunch of fucking facts within this movie, and y'all better be ready for this one. So,
Oh boy.
We then cut to Bucky. I don't know how to pronounce where he is, but he is somewhere that is not anywhere near anyone. And he's buying plums. Now, mind you, plums have been proven to help with memory. What's the one thing Bucky's trying to do? Get his fucking memory back. And when he's feeling the plums, he's feeling them with his metal hand. He can still feel things with his metal hand. Now remember that part, because it does come back up. So Bucky then sees a guy looking at him at the newspaper stand, and the guy selling the newspaper looks at Bucky, looks terrified because he looks down at the paper, looks back at Bucky. He's terrified and he runs off. Bucky then goes to the stand and he looks at it and sees that he bombed the UN, which obviously he didn't. And so then he heads back to his apartment so he can get his shit and get the fuck out of there and find somewhere else safe to be. So then we cut to his apartment, and you just see that he has nothing. He has a bed, a mattress, but not a lot of furniture, not a lot of anything personal items. And that's partially because that way he can get the fuck out if he needs to. Which is very, very smart. So we then see that Steve is in his apartment, and he's looking through this journal that Bucky has, and he's got all these pictures of Steve and whatnot, so he can try to remember him. Because obviously, at the end of The Winter Soldier, he's at the museum. He's looking at the pictures with him and Steve. So obviously they had a life together. And also at the end of the movie, he says, I'm with you to the end of the line, which is a fucking lie, by the way. Anyways, I digress. So he doesn't notice that Bucky is standing behind him, and then when he does, he starts talking to him, and he's like, you're lying. I know you remember me, because he remembers what Crossbones had said to him, that Bucky remembered him. And Sam is on the roof, and he's, letting Steve know that, how much time they have. And basically the German forces are coming after Bucky, obviously. And then there's this huge fucking fight within the building. And Bucky jumps out onto another roof. And then he starts fighting Black Panther. Which, the faces that he makes during it are fucking hilarious. Because, there's this one part where his hand is going towards Bucky's face with the claws out. And he's just like, ugh! He's like the funniest fucking faces that Sebastian made. So they're fighting, and Bucky's still trying to run away. And obviously Steve is trying to protect him, help him out. And so he gets away. And then there's this huge car chase, and Steve and Sam are trying to help Bucky. And then there's the motorcycle scene. And all I'm gonna say is, chef's kiss. That's all. Anyways. So all four of them are stopped well, Sam's not there yet, but it's Black Panther, Bucky, and Steve. And Rhodey stops them and is like, "Congratulations, Cap, you're a criminal." So they get arrested along with Sam, and before they're taken away, they find out that Black Panther is now T'Challa. So the four of them are arrested. Bucky is in his own little thing because he is severely locked up. And the fucking banter with Sam. "So you like cats, Sam? What? Dude shows up dressed like a cat. You don't want to know more?" I fucking love Sam and his fucking banter with everyone. It's hilarious. And again, they find out T'Challa is Black Panther. And congratulations, fellas. That is the end of the second part of the film. The floor is open.
No.
Yeah, they're fucking long as hell.
Boy.
Holy shit.
How many parts are there?
5.
And this is the second one.
Well, we just ended the second one. We're on the third one.
We don't worry, we have 3 more to go through.
The 5th includes the post-credit scene. The 2 post-credit scenes.
Oh, okay.
So,
I got
who
nothing
wants
say.
to go first?
I do not want to go at all.
Josh, Jason? Josh, go ahead.
I'll go first. So yeah, we get introduced, to T'Chaka, and then we get introduced, to T'Challa, and then at first we see that T'Chaka is the Black Panther because he's the king way before his son is, obviously, and after a while, then T'Challa becomes the Black Panther. And we also see that Bucky's trying to get his memory back by walking around with plums in his hand. And of course, it was funny when he was looking at his metal arm and making those hilarious faces.
They're fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's like, "Ooh, interesting."
Ooh.
No, he's terrified.
He's
A
terrified
fucking
of a metal.
Catman
Oh.
is chasing him. He's not
I'm
like,
like-
"Oh,
Oh,
he's
interesting.
terrified."
This weird cat man is
More
facing.
chaos here.
Yeah, he's like terrified of a metal arm. He's like, "What? How do you have a metal arm? Like, just how?"
Scary.
Like-
Josh, I think you're on a different part, my friend.
Like,
T'Challa does not have a metal arm. He has
I'm not
claws.
about that. I'm talking about the Winter Soldier, like where he was making the funny faces. But overall, it was more chaos. It was more chaos.
Yep, that's this movie for you. Chaos.
Lots of chaos, and you know what? I enjoy it.
All
We
right.
know you. We
Anyone else have anything they want to add about what they liked about this part, what they didn't like about this part? No?
I just like the fighting.
I just missed Chadwick.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like the fighting. That's very entertaining to me.
Yeah.
Of course.
Cat.
All those fighting is what I liked.
Is that a real thing, Catman?
Probably. All right.
Batman, what?
If we're ready, I can just move on.
Okay,
Yeah, move
All
on.
right.
go right ahead.
So then we cut back to the Avengers compound and we see that Vision is making Wanda food from Sokovia to make her feel better. Peppercash, as it's called. Catman exists, doesn't it?
It's a DC character.
Why am I fucking not surprised?
I mean, how? Yeah, let's see. Catman versus Batman.
Catwoman versus Catman.
Who's next? Dog Man.
I bet that's a thing.
I bet you that's a fucking thing somewhere.
Ooh, good.
All right. Again, he's trying to make her feel better by making her pepper cash, and so they start talking about the Mind Stone, and we basically learn a little bit more about it, and that the Mind Stone came from Loki's staff, and that it helped Wanda get her powers, and obviously that's what created Vision, and she wants to leave. She's like, okay, well, I can go to the store really quick, blah 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 blah. but Vision won't let her leave because Tony says she's basically a danger to others. And she can't leave. She has to stay at the compound. And Tony thinks that this is a grand fucking idea, but Tony is fucking stupid in this instance. So obviously the four of them are taken to Berlin. We're back in Berlin now. And we see Bucky locked up, and Sam and Steve are put in an office and not a cell. And T'Challa is just kind of like sitting outside in another room. And then we see Steve and Tony talking to each other. But before that, a bomb is delivered to a power line company. And then again, we see Steve and Tony, and they're talking, and they started to get on the same side, trying to make a negotiation. But then Tony starts to talk about Wanda, and Steve was like, "You still don't get it, do you?" So they're still on different sides. And then we cut back to Bucky, who is now getting evaluated by Zemo. And Sharon, what?
He's the emo. Yeah.
When I was a young. Okay.
Okay. So Sharon hits a button, and she basically lets Steve and Sam
We don't speak about that, man.
watch their thing with Bucky. And then the bomb is set off. And then there's no more power. So Zemo takes this as an opportunity to read off the trigger words to set off the Winter Soldier. And it worked, because Bucky broke free from what was supposed to keep him from breaking out. And he is now the Winter Soldier. Bucky starts to basically fight everyone to try to get away, to get up to the roof on the helicopter to get the fuck out of there. And Steve ends up meeting up with him. And he gets to the helicopter, and he tries to, he literally is choking Steve. But then the helicopter falls off the roof, and Bucky hits his head. And he literally passes out. And they fall in water, and Steve gets him out of the helicopter, and he's taking him to safety. And then we see Zemo at an airport, and he's listening to a voicemail. We don't know much about the voicemail, but we know he's listening to it. This comes back later on in the film. Then we see that Bucky is in one of the things for a car. And they're in a hidden location. They're trying to find him, but they can't, because obviously they're hidden. And I guess with Bucky hitting his head, it completely brought him back to his regular self. Well, as regular as he could be. He tells Steve he used to wear newspapers he said your mom's name was Sarah and you used to wear newspapers in your shoes. And he's like, can't read that in a museum. And then Sam was like, just like that, we're supposed to be cool. So basically, they're all talking, and then we find out that there are more super soldiers. That it is not just Bucky and Steve, that there's more of them. And a fun fact, when we see Bucky fighting the other super soldiers, those super soldiers are actually the actors, stuntmen, and women.
That's true.
That are playing the super soldiers. I thought it was really fucking cool. So again, they're all fighting with Bucky to try to, keep up with his moves and stuff so they could do the same thing that Bucky does when they want to keep Bucky around. But then the super soldiers go rogue and they kill a doctor and they start to go after everyone. Secretary Ross, because we cut back to Tony and that, and Secretary Ross basically gives Tony 36 hours to find all of them and get them back. And have them arrested. And Tony and Nat are both thinking of getting new recruits. Nat says hers is downstairs, so we obviously know who she's thinking of. But then Tony did not say the same thing. which leads us to Queens, New York, and we meet Peter Parker.
Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man is officially introduced to the MCU. Jaden.
And actually, in the most recent Spider-Man movie, spoiler alert. Can I say it?
Wait, can you?
No,
No.
No.
because we're gonna try to review it.
Never mind.
I want to review it.
Never
Yeah,
mind.
if we
Never
can't,
mind.
then
Keep going.
yeah.
And oh well.
But yeah, we finally get the introduction of Peter Parker in the MCU, which no one thought was gonna happen
Finally.
because of the whole Sony thing. No one thought it would ever happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we then see Tony is at his apartment, and a fun little fact: the Aunt May in the MCU, and I don't remember her name, and Robert Downey Jr. actually dated in the 90s.
That's true.
Yep. So I thought that was pretty cool that they still work together and on good terms. So Tony's in the apartment, and Tony basically knows that he's Spider-Man. They go into his room. He shows him the videos, and he's like, "Is this you?" And he's like, "That's on YouTube. It's not real." And he's like, "Mm-hmm." And then he pulls down. Excuse me one moment. My fucking Discord is going off for some reason. Rude. Anyways. So, they start talking, and I'm really glad they did what they did with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, because they basically just like skipped over what we already know.
Tommy.
And
Right.
how we know he became Spider-Man. And it's basically like the after. It's focused more on the after and not the actual beginning like the first two did. The first one with Tobey was great. I think them going back and trying to change it with Andrews, it's just the
Didn't
writing
work.
of the movies were not great. That's why those movies were not the best. But I digress, because that would be all of
I'm just gonna say this right now. I personally didn't mind the Amazing Spider-Man. I didn't mind it.
I don't mind
Second
them.
one-
Like,
The
just
first
wish
one was better than the second one.
I agree with you on that. I just wish the writing was better. If we do get a third one, the writing will be better.
The one with
100%.
Andrew Garfield, right?
Yeah, Andrew's
Yes.
supposed to be in another film.
Really?
Yeah, they're supposed to be doing another one.
Like continue with Tom. I thought that was going to be.
They're still continuing with Tom. They're already starting production for another Spider-Man.
So it's
Tom
multiple
Holland.
Spider-Mans.
Yeah, we're gonna get another.
Oh, come on.
We're getting
No,
another.
but they're different universes. They're not the same thing.
We're getting a
okay.
new.
I know it's different universes. I thought that was done.
Jaden.
Can you please stop interrupting me?
I thought that was done with Andrew.
No, but they're doing another Andrew movie and they're doing another Tobey movie. So
They're doing another Tobey movie?
Happy with
that's
Tobey.
what I've been heard. That's what I've been hearing. They're supposed to be another.
Huh.
They're supposed to be kicking up, like seeing like what Tobey's been doing the past
Listen,
couple decades.
if
it's
Sam
what-
Raimi doesn't do the Tobey movie, I'm not fucking watching it.
if who?
Again,
Sam
that's what,
Raimi.
that's what I've been hearing. I don't know if it's true, but I know Tobey's supposed to be appearing in other Marvel stuff.
Yeah. Possibly, but I know that
I hear he's supposed to be in Moon Knight. I
I
don't know.
don't know.
Again, I've been hearing rumors he's supposed to be in new upcoming Marvel movies. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we already know about
Wait and see
Andrew.
what happens.
We already know about Andrew and obviously Tom Holland, but
Yeah.
we were hopefully.
Okay. Just so I know. All
Hopefully.
right. So, they continue to talk, and Tony brings up to Peter about going to Germany. And a fun fact, Peter is 14 years old in this movie.
That's right.
We
Wait.
find that out during, what is it, No Way Home? No, Far From Home. Got so many fucking homes. Jesus Christ.
I thought-
He was 14.
Let's see.
He's 14
No.
in this movie.
There was Homecoming, then
Then Far From
Far
Home.
from home.
and then now No Way Home.
He's
Yeah.
14 in Civil War.
Yep. And I
That's child
believe-
abuse for fighting a kid. That is child abuse.
But they
Child
don't know that.
abuse.
They don't know that.
Right.
Well, I can't say the next part because it goes into
know
it.
what?
I'll bring it up again.
Nothing makes sense in movies, anyways.
Depends on the movie.
So Tony ends up convincing him to go. And then we are back at the Avengers compound, and there's an explosion outside, and Vision goes out, and Wanda can sense something, so she full on does the fling for the knife, and we see that Clint, motherfucker, shows up to get Wanda to go help out. But she doesn't want to go because of the shit that happened in Lagos. She's terrified to go help people because she thinks she's just gonna hurt more people. So Vision comes back, and then he fights with Clint, and Wanda basically takes over because she can still take over the Mind Stone. I mean, that's where her powers come from, is the Mind Stone. So she basically takes over and just pushes him through the floor. Did you have your hand raised, Julian?
No, I'm just saying Team Hawkeye.
Oh, I just don't like Jeremy Renner. I like Hawkeye in the comics. I just don't like Jeremy Renner.
Okay.
That's all. But Wanda does end up going with Clint to help Steve, and Nat, we cut back to her, and we do see that she does get T'Challa on her side to help out, and then she's talking to T'Challa. Basically, he figures out that she knows where everyone is, and she's like, I know someone who does. And then it cuts to Sharon meeting up with everyone and giving them their stuff back. And the fucking banter. This is why I loved Falcon and the Winter Soldier so much, was because of the banter between Bucky and Sam. It was fucking great. And this scene actually comes back up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where he's like,
Yeah,
can
dude.
you move your seat up? No. And then he's like, are you not going to move your seat up? He's like, no. People wanted that so badly to come back up, and they listened. They listened to what the fans wanted, and I loved that about this series.
More banter between the two, like,
yes,
okay.
That's what everyone loved about Sam and Bucky. That's why people were so excited when the show was created. And Jesus, a fucking disgusting ass kiss between fucking Sharon and God damn it, pissed me off.
Wait, huh?
Sharon Carter, Peggy Carter's niece. They kiss. Steve kisses Peggy's niece. It was fucking gross.
That part sucked.
It was gross.
I agree.
That sucked, all right.
Anyways.
Not.
And that, gentleman, concludes the third portion of the film. Floor is open. Josh.
Yeah, so we get introduced to the spider fella here, Peter Parker.
Spike. You're friendly. You're friendly.
Neighborhood spider fella.
You mean, as quote Evan, the Spoder Man.
Spooder Moon.
Spooder Moon Night.
Spooder Moon. Spooder Moon.
But
Does whatever the fuck a moon does.
Yeah, but we get introduced to
The Simpsons.
yes, but we get introduced to Peter Parker in the MCU finally. And they made a perfect choice for the actor. Like, I remember, being in high school, hyped up for this movie and seeing the trailers. I'm like, wait, Spider-Man's gonna be in this? No fucking way.
Lovely Spider
Pig.
But I was so hyped because I'm like, who are they gonna have play Spider-Man? Because I'm like, they went through 2 actors already, and
We had no idea who Tom Holland was.
yeah, no one knew who exactly. No one knew.
Well, he was in a couple of things. He was in a movie with Ewan McGregor. It was pretty big.
What movie was that again?
I want to say it was The Impossible. I think it's about that big tsunami that happened. I can't remember where it was or what year it was, but a lot of people died, and it happened throughout the course of a few days or something like that. I'll have to look it up and send it to you.
Was it in Japan in 2011?
No, I can't remember where it was. When I find it, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said.
Is Ewan McGregor in Marvel?
Not yet. I
Not
fucking
yet?
hope so.
I wonder who do you think what characters would be perfect for him to play? Anyway, that's a topic for a different day.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly,
Captain Britain.
it's great to see Spider-Man finally be introduced like that, because the whole separate thing with Sony was like have all the characters be introduced into the MCU, which hopefully they do every single. They probably have every single character, not yet, but hopefully soon. But It was crazy how we didn't know Spider-Man was 14. That's just pretty insane.
Yeah, we didn't know until like years later.
But yeah, it was cool to see Spider-Man like, get introduced, and he's like the youngest, one, so he's like, oh, I'm gonna be still in high school, and I'm gonna still be, doing my thing, being Spider-Man. But like a lot of people knew he was Spider-Man because, people have said his identity, like they're trying to like, because with Spider-Man's story, it's like, oh, you don't know, you're not supposed to know he's Spider-Man, but mainly people do.
That could be who Ewan McGregor could play.
Maybe.
True. But yeah, it was great to see Spider-Man, being introduced, finally. And yeah, I enjoyed that part. Because Spider-Man was always my favorite superhero as a kid. Like, he kind of just reminded me of myself. So, that nerdy type kid. So, yeah. Jason.
It's great to see the Spider-Man fella in this part.
The Spider
Part.
Spider.
Yeah, I didn't know how old Peter Parker was in this scene, in this movie.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
Believe,
So that was shocking.
Yeah.
I believe Wanda was 18 at the time too.
That's actually an adult. 14, that's a child.
I need to ask.
Uh,
I need to ask something real quick. Is there going to be a Miles Morales movie?
Yes.
live action? I'm
It's
not
in the
sure,
works.
but they're making another.
In Spider-Verse, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I wonder who
I would think yes,
it has to be
because
somebody
Kingpin,
that maybe like a young. It has to be like a young black actor, obviously.
the guy from Stranger Things, Caleb from Stranger Things,
That's exactly who I was thinking.
100%. That's what everyone wants.
Everyone
plus-
wanted.
With fucking Kingpin finally being in the MCU,
Yes.
it
That
could
would-
be done.
Yeah.
100% could be done.
hmm
Yes.
But
Please
yeah,
make it happen. Please make it happen.
You know another guy who could play Miles Morales though?
Who?
You know that Fresh Prince story? That Fresh Prince reboot?
No.
Oh, the guy who plays Will?
Yeah.
So what? I think Tom Holland played his part in this movie really, really good. He's always a talented
Yeah.
actor.
yeah. But 18 is still, yes, it's considered legally an adult, but mentally
Yeah.
you're still a child.
That's what I'm
I
gonna
mean,
say.
Tom Holland, like, he was his character was 14.
His
but-
character was 14. He passed it off really well, like scarily well.
Yeah. And how old is he
Um,
when he made this? Like 19 or something?
Yeah.
Maybe
It's-
19, early 20s.
I think 'cause
He's
when
not that old
Spider-Man
now.
coming.
Yeah. I
came
think
out,
he's like 23 now.
he's like, yeah, 21, 22.
How old is Tom Holland?
25.
25. He's 2 years older than me.
And he's
So
So
like,
he was like, he was
Spider-Man.
really young when the
He
movie
was
was
like-
made.
20 when this movie came out.
Yeah,
If
And
I'm
had to have been.
Yeah. And plus, people thought, oh, Homecoming was introducing Tom Holland as Spider-Man. No, this was us getting to know Tom Holland.
hmm
You know,
Um,
a phenomenal introduction here.
Yeah.
Exactly, because now everyone loves him as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He is this generation's version of Toby for us.
He is.
For those that grew up with Toby and the younger fans, this is their Toby. They both are different, but both the same. And that's what I do enjoy about Tom Holland's
No.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No.
It's like, I love Toby.
Why are you
because
saying no?
Toby movie.
What
Yeah.
just happened?
Actors that
No.
can play Miles Morales. Hell
No.
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 Oh.
That,
I can guarantee you that's not going to happen.
that would be a slap in the face.
God damn it. We're not getting into this in this episode. Anyways, let's move on to the fourth part.
We're almost done here, people.
Perfect time to go to the
Next.
fourth part.
Yeah, the fourth part. Here we go.
Felt that.
So we meet up at the airport with everybody, and we see Wanda and Clint, and then the door opens. We don't know who the other person is that Sam knew, but you could kind of get a hint, unless you didn't see Ant-Man at the end, the post-credit scene, then you really wouldn't know.
Oh, I know.
But obviously, with what I just said, Ant-Man shows up. Scott fucking Lang, Paul motherfucking Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
I
Paul
love
Rudd.
Paul Rudd so much. That man
Paul
does not
Rudd.
age at all.
seriously,
He's
dude.
a vampire.
We need
Fellow
Ryan.
Chiefs fan.
So he gets out of the van and he literally starts fangirling over Captain America. So much so that he gets his words mixed up. He says, "Thanks for thanking of me," instead of "thanks for thinking of me." And he's shaking his hand too long. And he also looks at Wanda as like, "Oh, I know you two, you're great." Again, one of the main reasons I love Sam so much is how he acts with other characters and his banter with them. It's fucking great. So the banter between him and Ant-Man, hilarious to me. And I love that he calls him Tic Tac. I fucking
Tic Tac.
love it so much.
That's the kid from
So
the
then the intercom comes on, and it's obviously spoken in another language, German. And they find out that Tony is there because they're shutting down the airport. And wow, the fourth part is actually a lot fucking shorter than I thought. All right.
Dang.
So Tony tries to reason with Steve. He doesn't know where anybody else is. It's just Steve. And then everyone else shows up, minus Vision, of course. But then there's the huge airport fight scene. I'm not going to break down each little thing because it's a lot to fucking get into and there's already so many parts. But that is probably, other than Infinity War,
the best fight.
best fucking fight scene.
Yes.
Like big fight scene as far as like
Big
hand
group.
to hand. Yeah,
Group
as far
fight.
as like hand to hand, hands down the Winter Soldier between Steve and Bucky. Like 100 fucking %. They have the best hand to hand combat fight.
Like the amount of choreography that was put into this, it's
Right.
Yeah.
like I played Mortal Kombat 11, and like I've played I played the story mode, and there's like all these different fighters. They had all the different eras of like the certain characters, like different areas of Scorpion in one thing, and like they would. And like there would be like two people fighting, but in the background there's other people fighting as well. It's just like the amount of choreography that goes into these giant fight scenes is nuts.
Dude, this movie is so fucking insane. Sebastian Stan literally was 200 pounds of muscle, pure fucking muscle, because he wanted to look good and
He wanted
fight
to look
better for this
like the
movie.
character.
Yeah, he literally had to have a new fucking arm made because he gained so much more muscle than the first time. That's why people love this fucking movie and love this version of Bucky so much, because he really fucking took his all into this role. And literally nobody else could play Bucky Barnes. Nobody. I don't care what anybody says. No one can do it like Sebastian Stan. His dedication, the love that he has for this character,
We only can't play.
insane. What?
He's the only one that can play the Winter Soldier.
No, I didn't say anything.
What the fuck did you just say?
I said he can't play Tommy Lee.
No, he fucking can't. I never even fucking finished the show.
Oh, that.
I never finished it.
I did.
I'm not. Sebastian, I love you, but fuck that.
That was
Fuck
horrible.
that. Don't ever do that again. You're grounded.
Warning, do not.
Go to your room.
Damn it, Jaden.
Go to your fucking room.
I'm pushing up.
Go away. You're
Go to your room. You're grounded.
taking you to a hospital. You need help.
All right.
More help than Tommy Lee does.
So I'll break down a couple parts within the airport scene, but it's not going to be a lot. It's just like the main parts that people definitely know. So obviously Ant-Man goes big. Huge. And I think my favorite part within that whole thing is obviously the Star Wars reference, which then means Samuel Jackson is canon in the MCU. So any of his work is in the MCU, all of it. I find that hilarious.
Curse someone out.
What?
If he does appear in the movie, he's gonna curse someone out.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Guys, have you guys ever seen Empire Strikes Back? Jesus, Stark, how old is this kid?
He's like, have you
Stop. How old is this kid?
with the walking thingies? How old is this kid? I don't know. I didn't carbonate him. He's on the young side.
And then he goes, "Wait, guys, I think the kid has an idea."
Yeah.
And then freaking Spider-Man takes his web, goes around Ant-Man's
goes
leg,
around him
and then
just like the
and freaking Robert Downey Jr. and Don Cheadle just
I just for,
just
like such like nerds like when like the kid has an idea.
I went nuts for that.
Okay, unpopular fucking opinion. I don't care what anyone says. Don Cheadle as Rhodey is way better than the fucking first guy. Way fucking better.
No, they picked the perfect. I love Don Cheadle. And he's
Yes.
perfect.
I'm so excited he's getting his own show. I'm so fucking excited.
He is?
Yeah, Armor Wars, dude.
Oh,
That's his show. I'm so excited.
Oh, I
So
can-
excited.
Yeah.
I know.
It was funny how like in that scene
it
like,
took him a while.
yeah. It was funny how like when Spider-Man came out of when Tony was like on the roof and then
Yeah.
Hey everyone.
he's like
He just
Like-
can't. Just,
Big
just,
fan.
like, sup.
Spider-Man.
he's like, hey kid.
Man.
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
we don't really need to start a conversation.
Okay.
So I fucking okay. So Steve and Bucky get away with the distraction, but obviously T'Challa sees them and goes after them.
Right.
And Nat ends up being there, and she actually stops T'Challa from
Go after.
going after Bucky and Steve. And then Rhodey is going after Sam, and Tony's there as well. And he calls for Vision's help, and Vision is helping Wanda because he
Right.
cares about Wanda. And Sam dodges Vision's blast,
And it hits.
and it hits him. It hits Rhodey.
man.
And he
And he's
falls.
like, I'm flying dead stick, but he can't tell Tony because it completely fucked up the suit. So I fucked up my notes for a minute.
Tony notices that he's falling and he goes.
Oh, okay, yeah, I found it. So, Tony goes to the doctor with him, and they basically found out he's paralyzed, like completely fucking paralyzed. And then we find out the body of the actual doctor that was supposed to work with Bucky for his mental status.
Mhm.
And then we cut back to the hospital, and Nat and Tony are talking, and he's obviously upset that Rhodey is hurt, but he takes his anger out on Nat and basically is like, it must be hard to get over the double agent thing. And she's like, is it so possible for you to get over your ego for one goddamn second? Which is true. And like, again, his emotions are definitely justified, but to take it out on Nat was not right, the way that he did it. So now Nat becomes a criminal because she let Steve get away with Bucky. But she knew it was the right thing to do. She just knew. And knew that Steve was not going to stop, no matter what the cost. So they finally, or Tony finally believes Steve because Friday, which, fun fact, Paul Bettany, who plays Vision and was Jarvis, his wife actually voices Friday.
That's right.
Yep.
Friday reminds me of something else. I can't put my finger out on
The
it.
movie.
Yeah. Who knows? We might review that.
Damn!
Who knows? We might review that.
We are reviewing it. It's your pick.
It was your pick. Take
It's
your
for your
pick.
birthday. Oh, God damn it. Anyways. So Tony finally believes Steve, and the last scene for the fourth portion of the film, Zemo makes it to Siberia, and he's looking around, and he gets in the building. And that is the end of the fourth part of the film. The floor is open. Josh.
Yeah. So we see that big fight scene, you know, Team Tony versus Team Steve Rogers. You know, you have Spider-Man on Iron Man's side, and then you have people such as was Bucky on Iron Man's or
No.
You got
No.
Cap.
Captain America?
Hello?
It was the team was Captain America, Bucky, Wanda,
Falcon.
Falcon, and
Yeah.
Okay, it was Steve, Bucky, Sam, Clint, Wanda, and Scott.
Yeah.
and on the other side it was Tony, Spidey,
Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Nat, T'Challa, and Rhodey.
Yeah. So
what about
like,
Vision as
Yeah.
well, right?
Yeah,
Ant-
I said
like,
Vision.
Okay.
I love that part where Ant-Man just like grew so huge. I was like, how the fuck did Ant-Man become so big? And then it was just funny how like
That's like
they
my
treated-
favorite part of the
they
movie.
Yeah, it was funny how they treated Spider-Man like the child, like he was like the baby. He's like, oh, the kid's got ideas. So they were kind of
Mhm.
being like the fathers. Like it was just, and then like Spider-Man, of course, you know how he comes out. It's just like he's like, sup, I'm here. Tony
Yeah.
Stark hired me to do this. It's like that's all you gotta say. They're like, oh, this is the Tony. I thought Tony Stark was gonna say something funny like, oh, this is the new kid, or like something like that. But and then Spider-Man, you know, he fights Bucky, and he has to, you know, be the nerdy kid that he is. Like, you have a metal arm?
Did you see the face he made when he looked back at fucking Peter? He was like, I'm dealing with a fucking 12-year-old. That was the face he
Yeah.
was making.
He's like, you have a metal arm? That's awesome. And
I
then,
think I might actually have the picture. Hold on.
and then like, of course, you know, when Ant-Man grows big, they're trying to find some way how to like knock him down. And then of course, you know,
Peter being the genius that he is.
he's like, I'm gonna use my webs and tie Ant-Man around, and then someone's gonna punch him, and then he's like, holy shit, that was awesome. And then he
It was, it
falls.
was. I keep forgetting Don Cheadle's name in the movie.
Rhodey.
Rhodey.
Yeah, and of course, like,
James Rhodes Rhodey.
yeah, Tony and Rhodey just knock him down.
Tony and
Yeah.
Rhodey. I love fucking.
Yeah.
It's like a sitcom.
I love
I think
Tony and Rhodey.
Rhodey. Take a fucking book out of WandaVision.
and it was like
Yes!
Sitcom.
but it's like the way they treated Spider-Man as like, you know, oh, he's like the baby. He's like, I can't believe I'm dealing with a fucking kid right now. So like the way that just it added like very funny sense to it. But overall, I enjoyed that whole like, you know, Team Cap versus Team Iron Man. It was just awesome.
Mhm.
Just seeing them go at it, it was like bitter friends, bitter enemies. But
Yeah, best
family
friends make the
forever.
biggest enemies.
Jaden, I think you had your hand up.
I like how Spider-Man just came up, just pulled up, like did like a whole flip, and then did a stance with
Captain
with
America
Captain America shield.
It's like,
Mm,
hey guys,
yeah,
Peter Parker. Yeah, just
a grand entrance, if you will.
yeah. I got
Julian.
all I gotta say is just like this was hands down like one of the best, like in my opinion, one of the biggest scenes in Marvel history.
Yeah.
Like hands down, because like we've wanted a clash of the heroes forever,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and they finally fucking gave it to us in movie form. Because there have been times in the comics that they've fought, but we've never seen it on
I mean,
screen.
if you count the video games, Marvel versus Capcom.
But that's
That's a video game. That's not like
Yeah, it's a game.
it counts,
um.
and that's like a
Oh,
fight.
yeah.
It's not like a story game, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Jason.
This part is my favorite part of the movie.
Mhm.
All these superheroes just going at it, just fighting, is a classic in my eyes.
It's like WWE Survivor Series, Team Captain America versus Team Iron Man.
yeah.
Exactly.
Traditional Survivor
That's a good point.
Series match.
You die, you're out.
You die, you're eliminated. That's the one.
Instead of getting pinned or submitted.
Oh God, they got eliminated just by dying.
That's
Are you ready?
You know
It was
what?
a
This
good-
is a classic in my eyes. You know what? All I'm gonna say is, it's my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah,
Well-
the whole battle scene.
Well, folks, this is the part where I start to rant a little bit.
There we
Okay.
go.
Oh boy.
Fair.
Maddie
Oh
rants.
boy, indeed.
Good God
right.
almighty.
This is the
Bill
final
Mertooth
portion
rants.
of the film.
Did you not hear Jaden?
No.
Say it again.
Good God almighty.
You sound so worried.
Now it's time for an episode of the Bill Mertooth rants.
Yeah, pretty much. This is when it starts to come out. right. We ready?
I guess.
All right. You'll know when I'm about to rant. You'll know.
Oh, I already know. I can hear
All
it
right.
in your voice.
I'm prepared.
Be prepared.
So we start the fifth and final portion of the film. Tony goes to the raft prison to obviously get information from Sam because he knows where Steve is, and he just does. He ends up knocking out the audio from the security footage, and he's able to get the information, and he leaves. T'Challa ends up knowing where Tony is and starts to follow him so he can kill Bucky. And Bucky and Steve land in Siberia, and they end up finding out that Zemo is there as well, and has probably been there for a while. They're cautiously walking around, and they hear some stuff and they think it's Zemo, but it ends up being Tony. And basically Tony and Steve kind of make up, whatever. And then they walk in the room that had all the super soldiers frozen. And we see little bullet holes right in their foreheads. So Zemo did the opposite of what they thought he was going to do. And the reason is, and they kind of explain it more in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but it's basically Zemo fucking hates super soldiers. Hates them. He just does. Again, if you want to know more why, watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's such a great fucking show.
Really gives a whole new perspective on everything.
Yeah.
That the movies don't tell.
Yep. And T'Challa is kind of hiding behind a corner, listening to the conversations between everyone. And he basically finds out that Zemo was actually the one that killed his father and not Bucky. So they continue to talk, Steve and Zemo, and we find out that Zemo's family was killed during Sokovia, during Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron.
And this is basically what drives him to do what he did. And a tape begins to play on a screen. And Tony is standing in front of it, and he says that he recognizes the road. Now, it's the same scene in the very beginning of the film. And we've seen it a couple of other times within the film, but this was basically the same scene in the very beginning of the film with the car and Bucky chasing the car, crashing it, getting the super soldier serum. But we see outside footage of it. We see a different perspective. Inside the car was Tony's parents. And Bucky, if you never saw the first Avenger, Bucky actually worked with Tony's father.
He did.
So when his father saw him, he said Sergeant Barnes. He immediately knew it was Bucky. And Bucky literally punched him so hard. He died.
Death
Literally
punch.
fucking died.
Death punch.
Then he walked over to the mother's side and choked her to death. And Tony watched all of it on tape. Now, this is where... this is where... That's all I'm going to say. This is where... I'm trying to not get so heated because this genuinely pisses me off. So, obviously, Tony is going to react some sort of way. He tries to go after Bucky, and you can actually see that Bucky is crying because of it. Because that obviously was not Bucky. That was the Winter Soldier. Bucky is now somewhat himself again, at least in his mind. He has his memories. He has everything back. And you could just see that he had remorse for Tony. And Steve tries to protect him. Tony finds out that Steve knew the whole fucking time how his parents died. He didn't know it was Bucky. He knew how his parents died. And what pisses me off is literally a film prior to this, Age of Ultron. He was getting on Tony's fucking ass about not filling in the team about Ultron and how he kept it a secret, but yet he goes and keeps this shit a secret. Fucking hypocritical bullshit ass. This is the film that made me hate Steve Rogers. Absolutely fucking hate him. Everything prior to this, love Steve Rogers. After this, fuck you. You're an asshole. I fucking hate you. Fuck an Endgame. Oh, I hope we don't review Endgame. I really hope we don't.
no.
Doing Endgame, Maddie. I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
That's if we do Spider-Man. That's if we do Spider-Man, because then we have to work some shit out.
If we're doing Spider. If we don't do Spider-Man, we're doing Endgame. That's just how it has to be.
Yeah.
And you know what? I got some shit to say about that as well.
Oh man. Yeah.
But it's one of the main reasons why I don't like Steve Rogers, and everyone was like, "Oh, well, he's this perfect man. He's allowed to have faults. He's allowed to be hypocritical and not tell his friend how his parents actually fucking died."
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
I get
You
where you're
literally
coming
got
from
on
that.
Tony's
Yeah.
ass about this whole fucking thing. You praised this fucking thing where you're like, we're a team. We're supposed to be a team. We fill each other in. This,
Oh,
that, and the
yeah.
other. And then he doesn't tell him how his
Absolutely.
own years. He literally knew since the Winter Soldier. He had the fucking file. He had everything.
Absolutely.
Hydra shit was released to the public. He fucking knew and didn't fucking tell him for years. For years. That shit pisses me off.
America.
Wow.
I mean, that's why I'm happy Steve Rogers isn't freaking Captain America anymore.
Same
Yeah.
here.
They have a better guy now, thankfully.
And it was
Samuel
time for a new
Wilson.
story too.
Yes. But I gotta say, I get why Tony is going after Bucky. It's a natural response. It makes me upset, but I get it. So I'm not angry at Tony for going after Bucky because I
I'm
get
not
it.
angry with Tony at all.
I'm angry with fucking Steve Rogers. He's a fucking asshole.
He's a fucking
And again,
dumb shit.
like Bucky literally was showing remorse. He was literally fucking crying while watching that footage because that wasn't him, and he knows that. He doesn't even know like what he did during it though. But now that he has his memories back, he remembers all of it, and he actually says that. So again, he's trying to go after Bucky, and Steve tries to help Bucky escape, and he was so close, so fucking close to getting out of it. But
Tony catch
alas, Tony blasted at the entrance and it closed, so he couldn't get out. Zemo does end up getting out, though. We don't know what happens to him, but we will later on. Steve falls in the same place with Tony, and he tries to reason with him. Obviously, he's not going to be able to, because Tony literally says, "I don't care, he killed my mom." And we get a big fight scene between Bucky Steve against Tony. And remember in the beginning when I said Bucky could still feel with his metal arm?
Oh, yeah.
Tony blew off his fucking arm and he felt it. He felt the pain all over again. So then we cut to Zemo, and he's listening to the voicemail again. And obviously we now know what that voicemail is, because we know it's from his wife talking about his son and how they died. T'Challa ends up talking with Zemo. He takes off the helmet. He brings the claws back. He tracks the claws. And honestly, I'm going to wait. I'm going to save this for the end when I say my rating. But Zemo was fucking smart. And that's what I'm going to say. And I will elaborate more in my rating. But with this whole plan, Zemo just tries to shoot himself so that he doesn't have to see any of this again. He could be with his family, and just that was definitely the end goal of the whole thing. But T'Challa stops him because he deserves to pay for what he did. Obviously, he's not going to kill him, because he even says in the film, vengeance is consuming them and it's consuming me. And he basically is trying to do the right thing. And then we cut back to the fight between Steve and Tony. And Steve ends up overpowering him. Now, the thing that I really liked that they brought from the comics in this as well, or not even just the comics, but even in the animated series, Tony has the ability to learn people's moves, and he can use that against, enemies and whatnot. And they actually brought that into this movie, and I really enjoyed that a lot. Because obviously Steve is good at hand-to-hand combat, and Tony only has technology. Now that he did that, he basically was able to overpower him with the technology that he has. And obviously he takes the shield and pounds it into Tony's arc reactor. And then he takes it out, he gets Bucky, and he's about to leave, and Tony says, "You don't deserve that shield. My father made that shield." And he literally drops it. He's like, "I don't give a fuck."
Yeah.
He basically is like, "I don't want to do this anymore. I only care about Bucky." Which is why it makes me so mad about Endgame, but that's all I'm gonna say. Because if we're reviewing it, the rants will be coming back.
Yay.
But yeah, he drops the shield, and then we see that Zemo is now locked up the same way that Bucky was, in the little glass container thing, and the restraints and whatnot. And we basically find out that he did get what he wanted, because Everett Ross was like, "Oh, you failed miserably, blah 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 blah," and he was like, "No, I didn't. I got what I wanted." And then we cut to Tony visiting Rhodey during PT, and we find out that he actually made him a suit so he could still walk. And I love that so much, that he has that ability to do so. And of course, we had our classic Stan Lee cameo. Rest in peace. We miss you so much.
Miss Stanley.
Got a package for Tony Stank.
Tony Stank. I got a
Tony
package for
Stank.
Tony Stank.
So then there's
It's
banter
dark.
between him and Rhodey, obviously, and then we find out the package is actually a letter from Steve and a burner phone. Steve has another burner phone with a number on it, and it is the number of the burner phone that Tony has, and Tony has the number of the one that Steve has, in case needs to call him or whatever. Which the burner phone does come back up in another film.
Which we'll
That
get,
film is Infinity War.
which we'll get to.
And then we find out Steve breaks Wanda and Sam out of jail. And then we cut to the first post-credit scene. We see Bucky is in Wakanda, and he is going to go back in the ice. He's going to go frozen again, so that there's time and a way for them to get the Hydra shit out of his head. In a safe way, of course. And they definitely explore more of that in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I think they did that fucking beautifully. Absolutely wonderful. But yeah, he goes back in, he's frozen, and that's what we see of Bucky for the next few movies. And now the second post-credit scene. Peter got to keep all the tech that Tony made him, and he got to keep the suit. And he talks about fighting Steve and whatnot. And of course, at the end of both post-credit scenes, it says Black Panther will be back and Spider-Man will be back. And I love when they do that for up-and-coming characters. I fucking love it so much, because it's like, you know that something is going to come from it.
Can I say something about the last Spider-Man movie? Didn't they just do that? With the Doctor Strange? Because it said Doctor Strange will be back.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously we know there's the other Doctor Strange.
Dude,
Isn't
I
there a
cannot.
movie?
Yeah, I cannot. Oh, I cannot wait for the new Doctor
I'm
Strange.
so excited.
Oh,
Did you see the second trailer?
yes,
With
I
Wanda's
did.
kids in it?
Dude.
This movie's gonna be fun. You know who's doing this movie?
Who?
Sam Raimi.
Let's go.
That's why.
Yeah.
Why do you think, Julian? Why do you think they're like, oh, it's gonna have a lot of horror movie influences? And guess who might have a cameo?
Tell me.
Bruce fucking Campbell, just like in the Spider-Man movies. I am hoping that he is in this movie. I am hoping, because that would just be amazing. But yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah.
The floor is open. We have finished. And then we will do thumbs up, thumbs down, final ratings.
Can I?
Yeah, go for it.
Could I say what I was gonna say about what happened in the latest Spider-Man movie or no?
It depends.
It was when. Can I say it anyway?
It's gonna have to get cut out.
Oh, never mind.
I mean, you could say it. Jason could just edit it.
No. We'll say it when we're done filming.
Okay.
Yeah, say it when we're done.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, man, dude. This is such a good fucking movie.
Yeah. I love this movie so
It
fucking
really
much.
is.
It may be my
Yeah.
favorite, but I am very critical of it. I don't give a fuck. Jason.
Yeah, this is quite a way to close out the movie, and those teasers are pretty interesting. So
Yeah,
overall, I
definitely.
really enjoyed this movie. It's really good. It's really good.
Josh.
Yeah, it was a great, way to close it out. It was very, this whole movie is just really good. If you guys have never seen this movie before, I don't know what you're fucking doing. You're probably living under a rock or
It's literally on Disney Plus.
Yeah, the
Go
two
on Disney Plus,
people
watch
that
it.
didn't see this
It
movie.
is really a good movie. Trust me.
What about who? What about the two people?
For the two people that did not see this fucking movie, because literally everyone saw this fucking movie.
I saw it when it came out, and I've watched it so many times.
Same.
I love this movie.
I'm
Good.
more.
I was there the first day it launched. The crowd that was at that theater, nuts.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready for thumbs up, thumbs down?
Yep.
All right. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, do we recommend Captain America: Civil War to you guys? And a 1, a 2, a 3, go.
That's a thumbs up.
A double
Double.
thumbs up.
No,
Yay!
double.
Such an incredible movie. I'll go ahead and get things started with ratings. Honestly, that one part with Steve Rogers definitely pissed me off. That really just made me hate the character so much.
Mm.
Endgame literally ruined it even more.
Oh yeah,
Movie did.
but still, aside from that, I can look past that. I'm gonna give this, with that one flaw, I'm gonna give this a 9.5 out of 10.
Julian.
What?
I'm gonna go next then.
Okay.
Since you said that. I don't know if you can see it. I had the same fucking rating.
What the fuck?
Again, we are the same person.
And the reason I'm giving it that is obviously because of the Steve Rogers thing. If that weren't in there, it would be 10 out of 10. But another thing too, I don't know if anyone noticed this, but it's the part where Bucky and Steve are going under the thing that Wanda was holding up, so that they could get to the Quinjet. How the fuck did they get underneath that so quickly? It looks like they didn't even fucking make it. It literally looks like the CGI made it look like Bucky literally got hit. That's another thing I have against it, but it's not like making me put it like an 8. I still love the movie regardless because I fucking love Sebastian Stan. I love Bucky Barnes. I love what they've done with the character. Especially with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It made me love the character even more than I already did. I relate to his character so fucking much. With my own personal shit. Obviously, I'm not a fucking superhero, but just the shit that he's gone through and how he's dealt with it, like, I just connected so quickly to this character. I literally have every single Funko Pop. Every single one. Plus a custom. And I have a shirt. I have 3 shirts, actually. I have movies. Like, I own every single fucking Captain America movie just because of Sebastian. Like, I love him, and no one else can play this character. No one else. I don't know anyone else that could.
That's right.
And don't want to know.
Yeah. All right. Jaden, what's your rating for Captain America: Civil War?
I'll give it a 9.5. I really like the part how Spider-Man just pulled up in that big old fight scene. Ant-Man got all big and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, why is he called Ant-Man if he can get big? You know
because he shrinks. He mainly shrinks.
Yeah. And it's very rare when he turns into a giant. All right. Jason Bailey.
A 9.5 as well because of that one part, but the fight scenes are my favorite.
And finally, Mr. Assassin.
I'm gonna also give it a 9.0. Huh?
Nothing.
Well,
God
Well,
damn it
no.
with the hobo shit.
I said assassin.
okay.
Oh, I thought you said hobo.
Okay. How incredibly tolerable, but I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10 as well. Fucking Steve Rogers had to be a fucking prick.
I'm telling you, it's the same shit with this movie.
Yeah, it happens a lot. And
He had
yeah,
to be an American.
yeah.
Mhm.
Josh, you're calling him a prick, but you're not calling the person that runs your hobo shelter a prick.
Can we please just do outros?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
That would be a good idea,
Hey,
Maddie.
Josh, you go ahead and go first since supper's almost ready at the shelter.
Oh my
Wow,
fucking
fuck
god.
you, asshole.
Even though it's
Do your
10
outro,
p.m.
Josh.
Thank you guys for watching this episode of Cinematic Analysis where we reviewed definitely a favorite film of mine of the MCU, the Captain America Civil War. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. I think most of you fucking citizens have seen it because you don't live under a rock like some people do. Comment down below what you thought of the movie, if you have seen it. If you haven't seen it, what are you waiting for? It's literally on Disney Plus. And follow everybody on their socials. Be sure to stay tuned for our next episode, which we will announce. And yeah, see you next time.
Yes. And for everyone that wonders how Josh gets around, he gets around with this thing.
Fuck.
Fucking god.
I
Jason,
don't
you
get
go
around
ahead.
with one of those damn things.
Well, it's all jokes, people. By the way,
You don't have
It's all
cars.
just so you guys know.
We can
All right.
roast
It's
you
all
in the
jokes,
comment
so-
section if you guys want.
That's right.
Thank you guys for watching this episode of Cinematic Analysis, where we reviewed Captain America: Civil War, a great movie, and stay tuned for our next one.
Yes. Jaden.
Well, you can find my Instagram and YouTube channel in the description below, and also follow me on TikTok at Jaden314.
All right.
All right.
I will go next because Maddie always ends off our episodes. You can find me on Instagram at HeavyMetalJoker_music. And you can also find me on TikTok at Heavy Metal Joker. You can also find me and the rest of these guys on the Mosh fucking cast. And yeah, no videos coming out this week on my IGTV page because starting tomorrow, top 100 favorite albums of all time live streams starts tomorrow at 3:00 p.m. Central Time. Be there. And
Be square.
all right, SpongeBob.
Jesus Christ. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode where we reviewed Captain America Civil War. I fucking love this movie so much. Yeah, I had such a great time reviewing it with everyone, especially with people I care about a lot with a movie I fucking love to death. For, again, my birthday pick. I'm so happy about it. Go follow everyone on their socials. Should be linked down in the description below. Also check us out on the Moshcast and Crash and Burn podcast, where maybe, just maybe, I will make an appearance. Depending. Maybe. Just maybe. Who knows? In the
Who
future.
knows?
You can find me at Instagram at Bill Mertooth, Twitch at Bill Mertooth, and TikTok at Bill Mertooth, where my next top 10 will be Motionless in White. And I might, maybe, just maybe, might do a little vinyl stream on Instagram showing off all my vinyls. Because I did a CD one, but I didn't get to really go through my vinyls. So maybe even just make a video on them. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? But
maybe I'll show up. And I'll show off
Our
my
next-
record as well.
episode.
Final off.
Vinyl off.
Vinyl off. Our next episode. Drum roll, please. to kick off another Marvel birthday pick is for Lucas, and he picked Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I
Guardians of the
Ah.
Galaxy, okay.
It's
Batista,
Chris Pratt,
man.
you know. That's what it is. But
Hi,
yeah,
Lucas.
thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I had a fun time for a birthday pick, even though my birthday was yesterday, but that's fine. I guess people do like you when you're 23 or whatever Blink-182 said. Yeah, fuck yeah, let's get out of here.
Well, all right.
Outta
Ladies
here,
and gentlemen,
boys.
thank you so much for watching Cinematic Analysis. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
See you next time.